Hey guys, what's up? This is Panzer Dragon, and today we're doing the top 5 best mid laners for solo queue. Now, of course, DFG has been removed from the game, so it kind of changes some champions, but not really. Also, there have been some small nerfs to some champions in the mid lane, of course, but there was an interesting buff to someone that I won't speak of until we get to her. Oh, now you know it's a she. And also, this would be my personal top 5 if I were the mid laner, as opposed to other tier lists where I kinda had like an opinion of others. So say if I were to climb the ladder with mid, these would be my top 5 picks for this patch. Alright, so first up we have Xerath. So why is Xerath at number 5? Honestly, this champion's poke is ridiculous. He's like basically the new Ziggs. And he just does like so much damage with 1Q, especially if he has his cap and like, say a Morella Monocon. I can't say it, sorry. He'll be doing tons of damage against the enemies. He also has really high AP ratios, so he does scale really good into the late game. And he also has his ultimate to pick people off or of course poke them down so they can get objectives since they're recalling and they're low. In a sense, his E is like Morgana's stun, where if you do land it, someone is gonna die. In say like a siege of course, and say if you are a fed Xerath, all you have to do is tell your team to protect you, peel for you, and you will win the game. There are a few cons with Xerath, and that is assassins can easily take him down as he doesn't really have any escapes. He does have a stun and slow to stop him in the tracks for a bit, but of course if he does get targeted, then he's probably gonna drop unless he has flash and heal. Since all of his skills are skill shots, he's actually kind of a hard champion to play, especially his ultimate timings where it actually takes skill to hit your 3 ultimate charges. And for everything basically I listed, he does take my spot at number 5. Although if you are a scripter, he's probably going to be your number 1 champion. Next up at number 4 is going to be Katarina. So in my opinion, basically why I think Katarina is top 5 is because she instantly wins teamfights if she comes and kills everyone. She's really good at cleaning up teamfights, especially if the enemy makes a mistake, then she can clean up and take them all down. Once she gets to Zhonya's Hourglass, she's really hard to deal with as there is the reset potential, there is the cleanup potential, and basically what I'm trying to say is she's just a big threat in teamfights to look out for. And especially if you have like an initiation or catch like Jarvan or even Malphite, then obviously she's going to get a really great ultimate and clean up the fight even better. Even though DFG did get nerfed, she didn't really use it that much. She still has his other build paths like Zhonya's Hourglass, Abyssal Scepter, you know, these things to be tanky and last long in teamfights. So it wasn't really a big deal that she can't use DFG anymore. But anyways, if I were any better at her, I'd probably be playing her more in the mid lane and maybe list her higher than number 4. But definitely she's a good champion to use in any kind of division. And next up at number 3 is going to be Talon. So why is Talon back at number 3 when his silence did get removed? Honestly, his damage is still there. Yeah, sure, you can counterplay him now since he doesn't have a silence anymore, but he still will do a lot of damage in teamfights with his AoE, with his R and W. He still will get away with his ultimate as he does have stealth and a movement speed, and his ultimate is still on a relatively low cooldown. So is he really that bad? No, he's actually pretty good. Like say, if there's a Talon main on the other team, you will ban it, because you don't want to deal with it. You know they're scary, they'll probably carry, and most importantly, they know how to play Talon. So in that sense, it's worth the ban than of course the OP bans. And if I can jungle Talon and, you know, kind of do bad early game or do good, whatever, and still come out useful if I did bad, or even phenomenal if I did good, that means his mid game must be really good as, you know, a lot of teamfights happen, picking off people is easy, and the best thing about him between him and Zed is that he doesn't fall off late game. Thanks to his damage amplifications and of course his base damage and AD ratios, his damage never really falls off and only gets better. Alright, so at number 2 is going to be Nidalee. So I'm not sure about her, maybe she's a better jungler than mid laner, but probably not. She's really good in a sense where she can assassinate people by landing that spear and kind of bursting them from 100% to 0, or maybe 2 shots of course from spears. And her roaming in the laning phase and mid game is really good. It's very hard to get away from Nidalee since she can keep pouncing onto you, landing those spears, resetting her cooldown, and her all-in potential is just really great. The only way of shutting her down is of course making her early game bad and making her go negative, and she's kinda useless in that sense since her AP ratios are high, so she kinda needs items, and she doesn't have that much utility since she does not have any CC. But basically, if you know how to play the laning phase with Nidalee, you know how to play her in general, then she's the mid laner for you. Next up at number 1 is going to be Ahri. So what the hell happened to Ahri? Well, basically Riot gave Ahri a movement speed buff to her Q, and now she's just kind of like super kitey, extremely mobile, and I think she's kind of ungankable since she does has her ultimate to get out of the lane. If the enemy jungler tries to come and doesn't have any hard CC, she can just toss out her Q at the jungler and then run away. Even though she can't use DFG and doesn't have Charms DFG anymore, she still does a lot of damage with her other skills, and of course if she does land that charm, she can still probably kill someone, especially if they're alone, as her damage is really high when she's kind of fed. But basically, the biggest point to highlight about Ahri is that Q movement speed buff. That thing is what makes her really strong right now, and say if you want to get the lane faster, it doesn't really cost that much mana, so you can just toss out a Q and go to lane. Especially after like a Chalice or Merlot's Nomicon. Or, you know, even better, blue buff. It's also on a relatively low cooldown when you have 40% CDR. Hey guys, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to check out some other tiers, there's going to be a junglers up there, supports, top laners in the northwest corner. Well, basically with my fingers pointing, there won't be any AD carry because there's not really much changes. The only thing you could do is maybe rate Corki a bit higher from number 5. Maybe he replaces Caitlyn. He probably does. But that's about it. You can also subscribe right there where you see Jaden Smith. And yeah, I think that's about it. This is it for an outro. I don't really usually do this. I don't know how to. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.